Juicero, the $120 million squeeze. In September 2017, a Silicon Valley company announced it was shutting down and buying back its product from customers. Nothing unusual there, startups fail. But here's what makes this different. The company had raised $120 million in venture capital. The product it was killing? A juice press. And the reason it failed? You could squeeze the juice packets by hand. That's it. No machine needed. The entire company was built on a problem that didn't exist. This is Juicero. And this is how Silicon Valley convinced itself that complexity was innovation. Doug Evans founded Juicero in San Francisco in 2013 with a clean premise: cold-pressed juice at home, no mess, no effort. Sounds reasonable. The Juicero Press would do the work for you. Single-serving packets of pre-chopped fruits and vegetables arrived at your door on subscription. You'd load a packet. The machine would press it. Done. When the device launched in March 2016, it cost $699. That's more than an iPhone. The packets themselves ran between $5 and $7 each, with an 8-day lifespan. The money came fast. Venture capitalists backed the vision completely. By 2017, investors had committed $120 million to the company. That tells you something important: no one questioned the premise. Not seriously. The machine had Wi-Fi connectivity. It scanned QR codes on each packet before allowing operation. This, the company claimed, was a safety feature, preventing expired packs from being used, enabling food recalls. The industrial design came from Yves Behar's studio, one of Silicon Valley's most respected product designers. Everything looked legitimate. Everything looked inevitable. Then in 2017, Bloomberg News did something radical: they tested the actual product. A journalist squeezed one of the packets by hand. Then another. Then they compared the results to what the $699 machine produced. The hand-squeezed juice was nearly identical. Same quantity. Same quality. The expensive press had no real advantage. The company's response was defensive but revealing. They said hand-squeezing created undue mess and promoted a poor user experience. They offered refunds to unhappy customers. But the damage was done. By September 2017, Juicero suspended sales and began searching for a buyer. No one was interested. The company dissolved. Here's what matters: Juicero didn't fail because it was a bad product. It failed because it solved a problem by making it more complicated instead of simpler. The packets were the entire value proposition. Pre-chopped, measured, convenient. You could squeeze them by hand and get exactly what you paid for. The machine was theater. It was proof of commitment, a status symbol, a way to show you'd paid for premium convenience. But the moment that theater was exposed, the entire foundation crumbled. What's fascinating is this wasn't hidden. Venture capitalists, designers, and executives all knew or could have known that the real work was done before the packet arrived at your home. The pressing was almost incidental. But here's what changed their thinking: the $699 price tag. A machine makes the purchase feel justified. A subscription to pre-cut vegetable packets? That's a commodity. That's not a venture capital story. Investors don't fund solutions, they fund scaling potential, disruption narratives, hardware plays. So the company built something that didn't need to exist, to justify the premium price of something that did. Jeff Dunn, former president of Coca-Cola North America, took over as CEO in October 2016, right before prices were slashed to $399. He inherited a failing product and made the rational choice: cut costs, hope volume increases. It didn't. Because the problem was structural, not tactical. The Juicero story isn't really about juice. It's about what happens when you have capital before you have clarity. The company had $120 million, world-class design, institutional credibility. What it didn't have was a reason to exist. And when you have that much money and that many resources, you can hide from that question for a very long time. But here's what actually killed it: transparency. Bloomberg didn't expose a secret, they just showed people what the product actually did. The investors didn't miss obvious warning signs. They never looked. Because in Silicon Valley, asking why does this need to exist is often treated as a failure of imagination. Juicero is dead. But the logic that built it, solving invented problems with premium complexity, that logic is still thriving in a garage near you, funded by the same investors, told by the same storytellers, aimed at the same customers who want to believe that paying more always means getting more. It usually doesn't.